literally, you know, the tests, you know, it seemed like every day at school, to duck and cover under your desk, as if that is going to save you from nuclear holocaust. And that level of anxiety, I think, in communities, as well as having a civil rights movement that was so incredibly visible. The news covered the civil rights movement because it felt like it was a righteous activity. That's not true about the gay movement for the most part. That was not true about the women's movement. So civil rights was in the news every day, and you were watching people literally putting their lives on the line against dogs, against fire hoses, against police officers, and people of all colors, not simply African Americans. And you watched that and understood that there was the possibility of social change. So by the time I understood that being a lesbian was a political place, I was prepared for activism. Activism was a part of my life. It was a natural state. And the arts were a part of the activism, always. You did not go to a march, you did not go to a rally without a song or a poem. The Black Power movement begot the Black Arts movement. And even though the media was very stingy about how much attention they wanted to give to social change, we all knew what was going on out there. I mean, the takeover of Alcatraz was in 1969, the same year as Stonewall. But the paragraphs were about this big. So I think that undercurrent of activism really is what led me to understand activism was possible. But it was also the dominance of the civil rights movement that made, I think, lesbian feminist activism come much later. So.
Well, I'll keep this a little shorter, but for me, one of the things that the third thing the gentleman said, he said they had an AFC high school work camp up in the Pocono Mountains. I didn't want to go, and I went. And this was wonderful because you spent a week, and they would bring resource people in. And one couple came up from the South, and they said they were cultural workers. I never heard that term before. And they were, the role that they had was they were going down south and recording the freedom songs and the meetings and whatnot to really capture. And their names are Guy and Candy Caraway from the Highlander Center. The Highlander Center is still there. And they're still there. And I remember when they were singing and they were talking, and then they said, well, you know, nonviolence, and this is the way we feel like we can sing and all that. And then there's this great school out in California called the Institute for the Study of Nonviolence that folks in Joan Baez and Ira Sandro. You might want to go to that, Mandy. I did. But the thing about Guy and Candy Caraway that really struck me real quick, because because some of us were a little too young for the civil rights movement. For those of us in that age group, we were just a little too young. But King gave another famous speech besides that one on the Mall on August 28, 1963. It was April 4th, 1967, Riverside Church. His dared question at war in Vietnam. And what he said, essentially, bottom line was, you cannot ask a bunch of black men to go 8,000 miles to a country of color and fight and kill and be killed in the name of democracy when they didn't have it when they left and they didn't have it when they came back. And he was challenged royally. They said, Dr. King, don't go wandering off on anything else now. You know, we're supporting you in this movement, but he dared go there. And that was the legacy of a lot of us who came into this movement through that anti-Vietnam War movement. But the thing about the Caraways that really struck me, I thought they were a great model of allies and the importance of people who are not people of color. They feel like they're a part of our movement. And to this day, I thank them royally. And here's the unique, interesting thing about the Highlander Center, just to show you how things connect. There was a white progressive lesbian who became the director of the Highlander Center for 5 years. the director, but she was one of the Song Six. The Song Six started in 1993, just some, three white progressive white lesbians, intentionally partnering with three black Southern progressive lesbians. Pam McMichael out of Kentucky, MAH00016 out of North Carolina, Joan Gardner, who's now Honorable Joan Gardner, Atlanta, Pat Hussein and Mandy Carter. That was a dream back in 1993. She was the executive director for 5 years, and at the time she was there was a staff, and one of them was a person in the library on site, and her name was Caitlin Breedlove. And there was a young, I don't know how you self-identify. Anyway, there was a young person working in a youth program called Season Fire named Paulina Hernandez. Can you stand up, please? They're here. I said that because Guy and Candy Kerwin are at Highlander. Suzanne Farr is still in Knoxville doing work. Paulina and Caitlin are now the new co-directors of Song. I say that because this is incredible history, and we have it right in front of us if we would just take a moment to think about looking at it. So, FYI, and by the way, anyone who ever gave a dime to, was like Randy Romo, whoever partnered with, contracted with Song, people stand if you're able. Roberto. Here. Anyway.